Start. Okay. Yeah. Is it visible in a full slide mode?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Once again, good evening to one and all. So, as we were discussing about the different types of forest classification. Okay. So, in that actually, mainly we were concentrated on the like a champion, like different classification by the different scientists. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so different scientists. Okay, in that actually, please remember the like classification based upon the climate. Okay, so in that mainly they're not going to ask you the like on the what basis and all those things. Just remember them. So the classification like based upon the climate now. These scientists like Schimper, Mayer, Puppen, and the Schonberg, they classified the. Just a minute. Yeah. So these were the scientists. They took the climate as a basis. Okay. And apart from this one, we have also went to discuss about some of the some main classification that is actually Champion and Seth. Okay. So in the Champion and Seth, now he took the ecosystem as a the basis for the classification. Now we will going to see the most accepted classification based upon the ecosystem, or you can say in the Indian context. No, that is actually that was actually mainly the Champion and Seth classification. Okay, so in the most of the like in a book, no, they are in the book and in the especially in the internet, no, so the year is actually varying. Okay, in some of the books, no, they have given the 1935, and in some of the books they have given the 1936, especially in the internet, and also the latest actually. Okay, so the latest actually the 1968. Okay, so our students know they generally tend to confuse with these things. So okay, so the initial effort, the in the initial no, so the he classified the Indian forest no by taking the ecosystem as a basis no. So he classified in the year 1935. Okay, please remember it was actually the initial year. Okay, so in the initial year no, he took so right now how many class groups we have? How many subgroups we have? So we have 16 subgroups. Okay, so in the when he classified in the 1935, no, he classified mainly the 13 subgroups. Okay, so in the 1935. Okay, so after this one in the 1968, no, so he modified and gave the revised classification. So in that actually he gave the 16 subgroups. Please write this is 16 subgroup. Okay, 16 subgroup. Okay, so that is the one thing you need to remember. Okay, in the exam, no, so in the exam, no, there will be a option will be 1968 or it will be 1970, or sometimes it will be like so they're not going to give you both options in the same question. Okay, so that's what you need to clarify with your answers and everything. Okay, so he took the ecosystem as a basis. So in that, no, so he gave five major groups, and so again these major groups, no, they have divided into the 16 subgroups. Okay, so now we will going to see the what are the classification sub major groups and the major minor subgroups. Okay, so in that actually as we mentioned, please remember this is one of the very important like objective question. Okay, he took the ecosystem as a basis for the classification of the Indian forest types. So what are the five major groups? So five major groups, no? So there are actually five major groups. One is actually the tropical forestry. Second one is a mountain subtropical forest, temperate mountain forest, alpine forest, and the subalpine forest. Okay. So now we will go to in the Indian map. Okay, classification. There actually we will go to see the so major types. So please remember that these are all the five important major groups of given by the Champion and Seth. Okay, so that is actually based upon the altitude, latitude, as well as the like mean sea level, height, temperature, everything you took. So that will collectively we will call it as a the ecosystem. Okay, so now we will go to the within that. Okay, within this whatever the like we have mentioned, no, five major groups. One is tropical forestry, mountain subtropical forest, temperate mountain forest, subalpine land, and the alpine forest. Okay, so within that one, he took he's again subdivided into like tropical forest to moist deciduous as well as the dry deciduous based upon the rainfall pattern. Okay, so that's the one thing. And within the moist tropical, no, he classified the moist evergreen, semi evergreen, moist deciduous, littoral and swamp and all those things. Okay, so here no, so I think it's very difficult to remember the all the classification. So but actually what you need to remember is that almost all the like classification, no, so that is actually attached to the major groups. Okay, for example, if you take the tropical, no, you can see the tropical word like this. Okay, but here now in the first group, mainly the tropical forestry, there is a one classification that is called a littoral and swamp. Okay, please remember the littoral and swamp, no, that comes under your like tropical forestry classification. Okay, so if you classify here, just we'll move to the another slide. There actually we have a clear cut definition. Yeah, it's clear cut. Okay, so here you can see the like the five major groups as I mentioned in tropical forestry to the alpine forest. Okay, these are all five. Okay, please remember it's a five. And here if you count this one like 1 to 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 3, 13, 13, 1, 4, 14, 14 plus 2, 16. Please remember the five major groups and the 16 subgroups. Okay, again they have divided the 16 subgroups into the like 1C, 1D like this. No, that will come around 221. Please remember this is like five major groups, 16 subgroups, and the 221 forest types in India. Okay, and in this one they will not going to ask you the what are the sub classification in the mountain subtropical forest, or you can say alpine forest and all this, but straight away they're going to ask you this numerical value. Okay, 5, 16, and the 221. Okay, please remember that one. And apart from this one, you have to remember the like there are actually some classification, exceptional classification. Like for example, if you take the tropical forest, this littoral and swamp, whatever we have mangroves and everything, this all actually comes under your the tropical forest. Okay, so that is the one thing you need to remember. Apart from this one, you can easily this is the one thing. And in subclass subalpine classification, there is no further classification. Okay, so they have taken only the one same thing, subalpine only. And here no, they will focus mainly on the like which are all the species which is highly prevalent in the tropical wet evergreen, tropical semi evergreen, like moist deciduous and all those. Okay, so in this one at least try to remember the one tree species. Okay, so that is the one thing they're going to ask. Okay, like for example, Dipterocarpus indicus, or you can say like for example Artocarpus species, Shoria robusta, Tectonograndis. These are all actually one of the like one of some of the important species. Okay, so in this one they may going to ask you the anything, and here now they straight away they'll focus upon these three. Okay, and these three apart, yeah, these four. Okay, one, two, three, and the dry disease, and also the dry evergreen forest. Okay, so please remember the at least two species for each of these. Then actually that will be very easy. Like that, if you read those things, that is actually the more than enough. And it is very difficult to remember the like where it is actually distribution and all those things. But generally that they're not going to ask you the distribution pattern and everything, but they're going to ask you the like numerical value as well as the like example for these forest. Okay, and here if you observe in this slide, okay, the map. Okay, these are all actually the whatever we have mentioned, 16 subgroups. Okay, so starting from the tropical like wet evergreen to like still we have subalpine and the alpine forest. Okay, so in this one actually if you observe this one, this the right side picture. Okay, in this one, this whatever this color, no, whatever you can say the brown color. Okay, so that is actually the like tropical dry deciduous forest. Okay, so if you observe this one, the area of the tropical deciduous forest, no, it is actually very high. Okay, so that's what now this occupies the first position in the India. Okay, so for example, if anyone asks you the like which forest is dominant in India, that is actually the tropical dry deciduous forest. Okay, and if you observe the like second one is a red color. Okay, tropical thorn forest. Okay, so if you observe here, tropical thorn forest, these are all actually the second highest. But they're not going to ask you the second highest and all those things. But they straight away they're going to ask you the which of the following forest is the dominant in India in terms of area and all those things. Okay, so please remember the tropical dry deciduous forest which is dominant in India. Okay, that is the one thing they're going to ask. Apart from this one, they're not going to ask you the much of the things. Okay, and here you can see the map showing the like for example. No? You can see the map showing the types of like forest types of India according to the champion and said 1968. Okay, the 1968 no, that is actually the revised classification of the forest types. And in the earlier no, there was the classification given by the champion said in the 1935. Okay, in the 1935 he classified the 13 subgroups. Okay, and later in the 1968 they added to the 16. Okay, so that is the one thing you need to remember. That is the one thing, and this is the same thing. Yeah. So here, no, that is actually whatever the subalpine, the what is it is called as. Uh, yeah. So here, no, this temperate mountain forest, no, this classification that is actually this one. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this subalpine, no, this again classified into the only the subalpine forest. Okay, so that is the one thing you need to remember. Please remember the like these tropical forests are very important. I don't think they're going to ask you the forest, mountain subtropical forest as well as the this alpine, subalpine, and this one. Okay, and here they're going to ask you the species as well as some kind of a like rainfall pattern, rainfall. Okay, and if you take the tropical forest, no, mainly we have how much rainfall we generally receive. So we receive more than 3,000 millimeter of rainfall. Okay, that is the one thing you need to remember. And also remember the species. Okay, so that is the one thing. Uh, okay, so this is a major classification. Yeah, so now that is actually that is all your major portion from the forest types classification. Okay, apart from this one, they will not go. They will ask you the question from the like subtype, like the forest types. Like for example, 1C, 1D. So these were a question they we were like we got in the net exam. Okay, in the last net, no, we got a question from this one, and it's also very difficult to remember. Okay, and if try to remember the like the subtype classification from the like tropical forestry. Okay, at least one question can be expected from this one. Okay, and it's very difficult to remember also, and at least try to remember the like like in the tropical forest. Okay, that's the one thing. And now we will going to see the like 2 to 3 question before going to the next topic. Okay, so as most of you are aware that the champion and Seth classified the forest based upon the, so that was actually he took the ecosystem as a the basis for the classification. Okay, so that's the one thing you need to remember. This is a major question generally they are going to ask you in the ICR exam. Okay, so next one is actually some kind of a basis. Okay, so dash is defined as the general appearance of a forest community. Okay, so in this one actually as I mentioned in the earlier class, so the physiognomy whatever we are seeing, no, like the whether the forest is actually evergreen forest, deciduous forest, okay, moist deciduous, and also that is actually seasonal changes. Okay, that we can able to see. That is actually the physiognomy is actually the general appearance of a the forest community. Okay, so that is actually the answer is like see here. So okay, floristic means the diversity of species. Structure means the stratification, like different layers, 3 to 4 layers. And succession means it's actually gradual replacement of a one community by the another community in the particular area. Okay, so see here the answer is the physiognomy. That is the one thing you need to remember. Okay, so in this is one of the very simple question. Yeah. So in India, the forest types were classified based upon which are all, like what are the basis we used to classify the forest. Okay. So in India, we used to take the like structure, function, forestry, as well. Also, we have to take we will going to take we took them like habitat and physiography. We also taken the like history as well as the physiognomic characteristics. So the answer is actually here the hollow. So we have taken all the characteristics in some kind of a different percentage to classify the so different forest types in the India. Okay, so it's a one thing very simple question. And next question is actually so the answer is here D. Okay, so next question is so please observe here. They will going to ask you the either subgroups or major groups, or they may going to interchange the words. Okay, so please while reading the question, please read very carefully. Okay, so according to champion and Seth, how many major groups and the subgroups of the forest classified in a respective manner. Okay, so as I mentioned, the major groups are 5. Okay, and the subgroups are 16. Okay, so that's the one thing. And how many forest types are there? So 221 forest types are there in India. Okay, so that's the one thing. Very important question. And while reading the question, so please be take care while reading the questions, especially when they ask the major groups, subgroups, and all those things. Yeah. Yeah, so the answer is B here. So next one actually, this is a negative statement. Okay. So which among the following is a not properly matched here? Okay. So out of 120 questions, at least one or two questions will be like negative statement, not correct, incorrect, and all this. Okay. So here, no, these are all actually the Schimper. Okay. He took, as we mentioned, that Schimper, Mayer, and the Coupon. Okay. They took the like climate as a basis. So like this one, no, like Schimper took the like temperature as a temperature zone for the classification. That is correct. And Mayer took the temperature zone of the latitude as well as the altitude. That's also correct. And Coupon took the temperature of the hottest and the coldest month, as well as he also took the rainfall of the like rainfall pattern and everything. Okay. So these are all actually correctly matched. But if you observe answer D here, so Champagne and Seth. So he took the ecosystem. Okay, it includes a major like all the like ecology site factor, which includes the like climatic factor, edaphic factor, physiographic, topographic factor, and the as well as some kind of a the biotic factor to classify the Indian forest. Okay, so the answer which is actually incorrectly matched here. So D is actually incorrectly matched here. Okay, so that is the one thing you need to remember. Yeah, so that is actually we have majorly covered the forest types. Okay, so in the forest types, no, so please remember the question. At least no, you will going to get the as we mentioned earlier, the okay, at least 3 to 4 questions can be expected from the like forest types. In that, no, they will mainly focus upon the species. Okay, so which of the like for example, Dipterocarpus species belongs to the which family, or not which forest. Okay, and the teak and the like Shoria robusta belongs to the which forest. That's the one thing they're going to ask. Or they may going to ask you the like 5, 16, 221 as the like classification. You need to remember. And apart from this one, there is a there is actually like 50% chance to ask the like what is actually the like 2C, like 2D. These are all actually very this part, especially in this part now. This is actually very difficult to remember. At least if you remember the like tropical forestry classification, you can easily eliminate the other options. Okay, so that is a major thing you need to remember in the forest types. Okay, so try to solve some at least a few questions from the major objective books, so that you are like whatever the like questions that we can easily solve. And if at all if you get any extra point, please add to the your notes. Okay, so that's what that's actually we have completed the major portion. Okay, so now actually we are moving to the one of the very important, and also it's one of the biggest, I can say, section in your silviculture portion. Okay, so till now we have covered the like natural regeneration, plant succession, tending operation, afforestation of the like different sites, and also we have covered the like some of the basic forestry, and also we have covered the some of the like major forest types classification in the India. Okay, now we are moving to the one of the very important unit in our silviculture, there is a locality factor. Okay, so in the locality factor, it is whatever we have covered locality factor, it includes all. Okay, biotic factor, topography, edaphic, as well as the climatic factor. Okay, so in this portion of as at least now we can expect the like similar to like forest types, we can expect at least now more than 5% from the 5 to 6% from the locality factors. So in this one, they'll pick the question mainly from the like LS Kanna or from the Dwivedi. Okay, especially the climatic factor as well as the especially from the climatic factor as well as the like example for the like Loran what is called a complete root parasite, stem parasite, and all those things. Okay, so now we will try our level best to simplify this portion. Okay, so that's the one thing you need to remember before going to the like actual topic. So as most of you are aware that the fact what is actually some of the words, okay, like factors of locality, what is actually site, what is actually habitat, and all those things. Okay, so as you most of you are aware that the site factor, okay, site factor, or you can also call it as the factors of locality. Any factor, like for example, climatic factor, edaphic factor, topographic factor, or biotic factor, which influence the vegetation. That is actually the simple meaning of the like for example the like factors of locality. Okay, so for example, like high rainfall in the like which is comes under rainfall, which comes under the climatic fact climatic I can say major factor. Okay, and if you take the soil, no, that is comes under your edaphic factor. And if you take the topography, like hilly area, aspect, slope, and others comes under your topographic factor. And if you take the biotic factor, no, mainly the how the animals, plants, which influence. Okay, how these actually which influence the particular vegetation. Okay, so that is actually we will call it as the factors of locality. That is in a common way. And if you make it very in simplest form, that is actually influence of all the biotic as well as the abiotic factor in the put on the particular site. Okay, so in the abiotic factor, no, just a minute. Oh, what happened? Okay, yeah, it's okay. So whatever the well, whatever the factors, no, for example, whatever the thing like abiotic, it includes the climatic, edaphic, topographic. If you take the biotic, no, mainly the leaf, plants and everything. All these actually parameters will be going to influence on the particular site. Okay, that's actually the simple meaning of the factors of locality. And if you take the site, no, site is actually somewhat complex in nature. Okay, in terms of the physical activity as well as in terms of biological factor, that actually will going to determine the what kind of a vegetation and all this. Okay, for example, if there is a hard pan in the subsurface now, that will going to decide the one kind of vegetation. And if there is a if the if there is a lateritic soil, that is actually going to decide the some kind of a vegetation and all this. Okay, so that is actually the complex phenomena of the both physical as well as the biological factor, which will going to determine the what kind of vegetation or forest. Okay, so next is actually the habitat. Habitat is actually the it's a an area where actually the where actually the our forest or you can say any animal which is going to thrive or you can say it will going to grow. Okay, it's an adequate area for growing and its establishment. Or if you want the scientific definition, it's a kind of a sum of effective environmental condition in that actually the forest vegetation or you can say any animal which is going to live. Okay, that's the one thing you need to remember. And here now they'll not going to ask you the these definition and all those things as most of you are aware that of this. And here they will going to straight away they'll going to ask you the which are all the parameters which comes under your climatic, edaphic, topographics and the biotic factor. Okay, so in this one now we will going to look at the what are the factors. So as most of you are aware, these are all the four very prominent I can say factor which will going to influence the vegetation as well as the forest growth and establishment. Okay, so now we will going to take up each and everything in detail to meet at our objectives. The first actually we will going to take up the biotic factor. Okay, there's actually only someone actually. Yeah, please mute yourself. Okay, I don't know who is he. Yeah. So as first we will going to take up the biotic factor. So most of you are aware that it's actually influence of the living organism. Okay, influence of living organism on the particular vegetation and all this. Okay, and here now there are actually the mainly the four types. One is actually influenced by the plants, influenced by the insects, influenced by the wild animals, as well as the influenced by the man and some of the animals like bullock and all this. Okay, these are all actually the some of the things which is comes under your the bite. How these actually plant will going to influence, insect will going to influence the forest and vegetation. Okay, now we will go to take up the one by one. Okay, first one actually influenced by the plants. Okay, so in the within the influenced by the plants, the majorly actually main thing actually parasites. Okay, so within the parasite, as most of you are aware that what is actually simple meaning of the parasite? The parasite actually the plant actually it will going to draw either in terms of a complete or in terms of partial manner from the other plant or can from the host plant to get I can say to continue its life cycle and everything. Okay, you can see here. So an organism draws a part or whole of nourishment from the other living organism. Other living organism ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು here the host. Okay. So for example, if the sandal, okay, sandal which is taking the nourishment from the for example red gram. Okay. So here red gram is a host and sandal is a parasite. Okay. So that's the one thing. So based upon here we mentioned the part as well as the whole. Okay. Based upon these things, they have classified them the total parasite or the partial parasite. Okay, and also where it actually thrive. Okay, either it may be stem parasite or it may be the root parasite. There is also classification. Okay, so here if you take the total parasite, okay, it completely draw the it completely depend on the host. Okay, here now the examples are very important. So please remember the Cuscuta and the Cassata filiformis, these are all the example for the complete parasite. And also the, like, if the partial parasite, now they will, the plant will going to draw the part of the nourishment. Okay, that not completely depend upon the, like other, like cuscuta and all this. Okay, so here if you take the partial parasite, these are all actually stem parasite. Please remember, these are all actually stem parasite. Okay, and partial parasite, mainly one of the prominent example is the Loranthus. Loranthus is one of the very good example for the partial parasite. Okay, and apart from this one, there are actually some of the species like Archanthobium found on the kale and juniper. These are all actually they're not going to ask you in your exam, but whatever I have marked in the red color, no, like Cuscuta and Loranthus are all actually very very important from the point of your example, from the point of your exam. Okay, so then actually, what is the major difference between the, like, total parasite and the partial parasite? Okay, so here if you observe, no, there are actually the like, for example, if you take the total parasite, so in the total parasite, no, the plant, whatever the plant, the parasite, that is completely depend on the host for the sugar, minerals, and the water. Okay, and here, no, in the total parasite, no, so the chlorophyll actually, these plant, whatever I have mentioned, no, like cuscuta and also, they do not have the chlorophyll content. That's what they are called as a chlorophyllous plants. Okay, please remember. So these are all that's what they are called as a total parasite. But if you take the, like, partial parasite now, so they have the chlorophyll content. Okay, so they have the chlorophyll content. Okay, that's what they prepare their own. They conduct the photosynthesis activities and they prepare their own food. Okay, but they dependent on the, like, another plant only for the water as well as for the shelter. Okay, so there is a major difference between the total parasite as well as the partial parasite. Okay, so here they don't have the, like chlorophyll content, especially in the total parasite. And if you take the partial parasite, they have the chlorophyll content and they depend on the, like, plant mainly for the water as well as for the shelter purpose. Okay, so that is actually the one thing you need to remember. Apart from that, you can easily remember the other points also. Okay, so please remember the example. They're going to mainly ask the example and all those things. Okay. Apart from this one, there are actually the another that is actually stem parasite. Now we are moving to the like sandal, in the root parasite. Okay. And if you take the sandal, no, sandal is actually the semi-root parasite, or we can also call it as the partial root parasite. Okay. And here, no, you just, if you observe, no, so there are actually there is actually only 2.47 minutes is left. Okay, so after this meeting, no, after this class, no, please rejoin again. Okay, so for me, this is the video is recording. It will take at least 2 to 3 minutes to rejoin, but you rejoin as usual. Okay, so immediately after close of this one session, no, so please rejoin. Okay, so that's the one thing, because it's the in the Zoom, no, we can able to conduct maximum 40 minutes. The first 10 minutes, no, it will going to waste because of the joining and everything, and we can able to conduct only the rest 30 minutes. And please rejoin. Okay, so I'll after this class, okay, after this session. Okay, as we mentioned, the sandal is actually the semi-root parasite. The whatever the, like, this one, no, the you can see here, like, this is actually the one host plant as well as the sandal plant. Okay, so whatever you are seeing the, like, white color, this is actually the connection between the, like, sandal plant and as well as the host plant. Okay, the connection between these is actually called as the hostoria. Okay, please remember, it's very very important. These are also called as a hostorial roots. Okay, this is actually whatever you are seeing, the Punia rosophylla is actually one of the host plant. Okay, and this is actually whatever you are seeing, this is sandal plant. Okay, see here you can see the connection, that is actually the hostorium in the plural we'll call it as. And in this one there will actually there is a xylem and phloem will going to like to be attached, and so that the sandal plant, no, that can be able to draw the partial nutrients from the host plants. Okay, please remember these are all actually the attachment. Okay, so where we can able to see the, like, hostorial connection and everything. Okay, so that's the one thing you need to remember. Now actually I'm going to stop this one and please rejoin. Okay, so for me, no, it will actually take 1 or 2 minutes because it's to convert for a video and everything to convert. No, so I'll join 2 3 minutes late, but you join immediately. Okay, so that's one thing. I'm going to stop this one.